Imagine waking up from a life-altering shoulder surgery, dealing with the agonizing recovery, only to realize something absolutely terrifying. You might never have needed the operation in the first place. That's exactly what one man claims happened to him, and it sparked a really fierce battle over who is truly responsible for such a devastating personal loss. This man, we're going to call him Peter, experienced intense emotional devastation. He discovered that his trusted family doctor, a woman he'd been seeing for 2 decades, allegedly invented symptoms that ultimately forced him under the knife. He described the whole ordeal as a surgery built on a lie. For Peter, this wasn't just a physical mistake. It was an event that completely stripped away his dignity, resulting in regular sleep loss, a really deep sense of humiliation, and a total loss of trust in medical professionals. So let's look at how this all unfolded. Back in 1981, Peter had an initial shoulder injury which he firmly states healed up completely. Then, by 1999, he began seeing a new general practitioner, Dr. Whitmore. He built absolute faith in her over 20 years. But that trust completely shattered in 2015. After reviewing his medical files post-operation, Peter saw notes from Dr. Whitmore that he says led directly to this sudden and highly disputed surgery. Now here's where things get wild, because there's a stark contrast between the two narratives. On one side, we have Peter's lived experience. He firmly believed he had full mobility in his right shoulder and absolutely zero pain. But then on the other side, we have Dr. Whitmore's medical entry, which noted severe pain and restricted, difficult movement. And it was this exact entry that ultimately triggered the invasive procedure at a specialist clinic. Because of all this, Peter demanded €5,000 in compensation. He argued this specific amount was for his severe mental anguish, claiming that Dr. Whitmore's fabricated records not only caused the unnecessary surgery, but also ruined his chances of receiving a payout from a national medical risk fund. He wanted justice for his suffering. The court did not focus on emotion. It asked one key legal question. The civil court had to ask, did Dr. Whitmore actually unlawfully fabricate these medical records, causing Peter moral harm? To figure this out, the court had to strip away all those feelings of betrayal and look at the cold, hard, objective paper trail. Peter wasn't just seen by Dr. Whitmore, he was actually evaluated by 3 completely different doctors over several months. The court examined every single entry leading up to the surgery to see if Dr. Whitmore's notes were just some isolated incident. Okay, let's dive into the specifics of those findings. First up, we have a completely separate neurologist, Dr. Ellison, who evaluated Peter on September 30th. Her notes clearly documented pain in both shoulders and a slight movement restriction. Now, this is a really crucial piece of evidence, right? Because it was recorded a full month before Dr. Whitmore even made her fiercely contested entry. Then, moving forward on the timeline, Peter visited a specialist clinic. The traumatologist there, Dr. Fletcher, also documented the exact same complaints of pain in the right shoulder joint. He noted this right before ordering an MRI and then again right before actually performing the surgery. So the paper trail was remarkably consistent across multiple independent experts. Peter's central claim was that Dr. Whitmore completely invented the pain. But as you can see, the court found that 4 separate records from 3 different doctors confirmed the pain actually existed. The court logically concluded that it was highly improbable, if not entirely impossible, that 3 distinct specialists secretly conspired together just to invent Peter's pain. But wait, what about the specific details of the movement restriction? Peter argued Dr. Whitmore exaggerated how hard it was for him to move his shoulder. Well, civil law views the role of a general practitioner like Dr. Whitmore as a coordinator. Her job is to evaluate general health, form a working diagnostic hypothesis, and then refer the patient out to specialists for a precise assessment. Therefore, a slight imprecision in her notes regarding the exact degree of movement, that isn't considered a legal violation. Furthermore, and this is incredibly important for understanding how legal liability works, the specialist, Dr. Fletcher, proceeded with the operation based on his own final, independent assessment. He didn't just blindly follow Dr. Whitmore's notes. This independent verification by the specialist clinic actually breaks any legal chain of blame connecting Dr. Whitmore's initial notes directly to the surgery itself. Which brings us to the medical file mystery. Say Peter had a second major accusation. He claimed that Dr. Whitmore deliberately hid his physical medical file, refused to hand it over to him, and then lied about its whereabouts to a health inspection agency, a court, and the state police. To unravel this, we really have to look at the strict legal protocol from medical files. When a patient selects a new doctor, the old doctor is legally required to transfer the physical file directly to the new doctor. Crucially, under the administrative rules at the time, the patient actually isn't permitted to take the physical file home themselves. So handing the records directly to Peter would have literally been against the law. And the evidence showed that Dr. Whitmore simply followed these exact administrative rules by the book. When Peter changed doctors, she safely transferred the physical file directly to his new general practitioner, Dr. Caldwell. Dr. Caldwell even confirmed receipt of the records. This proved to the court that absolutely no deception or unlawful withholding occurred on her part. Finally, let's look at the verdict and the cost. After clinically examining all that objective evidence, the outcome was absolute. Peter's claim for moral damages was dismissed entirely. The civil court stated clearly that they found absolutely no unlawful action, no fabricated records, and no hidden files by Dr. Whitmore. Because she did nothing legally wrong, there was simply no basis to award any compensation. And this leads us to a pretty sharp financial sting for Peter. Instead of receiving the 5,000 euros he demanded for his suffering, the court ordered him to pay the legal costs of the trial. He had to pay Dr. Whitmore's legal fees of 750 euros, plus an additional 17 euros in state costs, bringing his total penalty to 767 euros. Ultimately, this whole situation is a powerful reminder of how the law actually works. While personal suffering and a feeling of betrayal feel incredibly real and entirely valid to the individual experiencing them, the law just cannot make decisions based on emotion. When assessing responsibility and risk, the legal system anchors its truth in the unwavering weight of collective, objective evidence. It separates human tragedy from legal liability. One decision changed everything. Watch the next case right here and subscribe for more real stories.